You keep walking on my sunny days. Skies are blue and now they're all cloudy, and I've tried to find a better ground, but somehow you bring me down.
Put your hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At the best school in America, believe it or not, where we've got some stuff to talk about today. All right, so teachers, I need you to have everyone's focus. I'm going to give you a second. You guys in the back of the room right there, yeah, you guys back there, you need to turn around and focus and listen. We need everybody's undivided attention. We're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about what happened yesterday at lunch, and we're going to talk about some expectations for the assembly. So, teachers, this is an extremely teachable moment for our students, and we're going to be using some advisement time next week to actually think ahead as things happen. So let me tell you exactly what happened yesterday afternoon. There were some guys, there's a group of guys, they just hang around and eat lunch together, and then there's another group of guys and they kind of do the same thing, and they'd kind of been talking back and forth a little bit. Well, yesterday, a guy from one group just walks over to another one and he punches a kid and they just start fighting. So these two guys are fighting, and it's kind of out of the way. It's over by the wood shop area. Most people don't even know what's going on. Maybe there's 20 people standing around watching this thing. Sergeant Granville from JROTC, he walks out. These two guys are fighting. The guy that started the fight, the guy that walked up and punched the other guy, he ran out the back gate and took off. But the guy that got punched, he was really angry, and he couldn't calm down. So the crowd kind of started gathering, getting a little bigger, and Ms. Becker went over and she says, hey, and she saw somebody about to get into it and tried to pull them away and pass them off to me so we could get people to safety and figure out what's going on. But then that person ran back into the crowd and it started up again. So we're trying to get people away. Now the guys that started it, they're gone. They're done. They take off. But the other guys, they wouldn't let it go. And they were very angry, rightfully so. But they didn't calm down. And then, because I'm trying to get them, they got upset with me. I'm trying to say, get out of here, guys, let's go. Then they get upset with me. And then they're screaming and yelling, and then people start gathering around, and then that group, they won't follow me to the office. I'm trying to get them to safety, figure out what's going on, but that group refuses to cooperate, and they go down by the science building, where some guy walks up, and now we almost got another fight, and Ms. Hernandez is trying to break up these two guys that are fighting, trying to fight. Then they come back up, and they're still screaming and yelling, and then the crowd gets really big and starts to form. And for some reason, when that kind of stuff happens, people just start getting crazy. Then somebody throws something, and somebody threw a trash can, and it just got out of control. So yeah, we called the police yesterday, and about 10 cops showed up. The police said, you need to go on lockdown and get people out of here. And by then we were able to sort it out. And we figured out exactly what happened. We interviewed students, and the guys that started it, they left, and we know about those guys. We know. And you know what? Video cameras were out, and thank you for those who have sent video. I've got tons of video. We've seen it from the very beginning. We've got people doing things in the crowd. So thank you for the video, because it really helped us figure out what was going on. And so the thing is, the guys that were assaulted would not have gotten in trouble if they hadn't continued their thing. And it just escalated. It made it much, much worse. And then the crowd gathered, and then people started acting stupid. Now, folks, here is what we need to understand. And you need to think about this stuff. People are standing around watching people act crazy and screaming, and you know, the guys I'm trying to protect, they're turned on me and they're screaming at me now, and then people are all like, what's going on? And then they start acting stupid, and then everybody finally gets back to class and we get it sorted out. Here's what nobody else sees. Because we live in the moment. We're not thinking 5 minutes beyond what happens when that nonsense happens. We start getting phone calls from parents. And then the poor secretaries are up there. Parents are calling, is my child safe? And then you get that nonsense going. And then, I mean, I'm not even going to get into it because somebody's going to think I'm talking about them. But you get all these other little things that go on. And it goes on for days. Because people, when you run to a fight like that, nothing good is going to come of it. Nothing. And a lot of it is our little freshmen. Because when that stuff starts, I notice that our seniors and juniors are just kind of sitting around just going, it's the freshmen and sophomores that want to run. And I'm going to tell you this, guys. You would not run into a house that was on fire because you're going to get burned and you're going to get hurt. The same thing happens when you're running to see a bunch of people making a commotion. This whole thing started with one guy punching another guy. They're getting a fight. We had it done. And then it grew from there. That's all it was. But people started acting crazy. Then you go back to your rooms and you're going, look at all the videos and everything's funny for a little while. I'm going to tell you, the idiot that threw the trash can, if he had hit you, then there would have been a problem. Then your mother would have been calling me saying, why is my kid getting hit with the trash can? The kid that gets hit in the eye with a carton of milk because some fool ran to a fight and started throwing stuff. This isn't funny. This isn't why we're here. And I'm going to tell you, each and every one of you, you are better than this. You are better people. You are better human beings. You are better students. You are better citizens than this. I'm not angry. I'm extremely disappointed. Because we are better than this, people. We are better. And you know, I almost canceled the assembly. In fact, I had sent out the notice to the teachers the assembly was canceled. But then I started thinking about it. There are people who really want to be here. We have students who are trying to do the right thing, students who want to be good citizens, students who want to be just good, compassionate human beings, who want to create the best school for you. There are teachers who've been getting ready for a performance to entertain you guys. There are kids that have been making posters and really excited about homecoming. And then I think back to how this whole thing could have been avoided from the very beginning, before anybody was ever assaulted by someone. But people had a problem they didn't tell anybody about. People were still doing things even after they had been held accountable and we thought they were back on the right track. Somebody had talked to just the day before, trying to be a kind, compassionate, understanding principal, knowing that when we have 2,700 students that there might be conflict sometime. I want you to have a good school. I want you to have a great experience. I want you to have fun here. But folks and teachers, we're going to be talking about this later on. We've got to think beyond the seconds that exist in front of us to the hours and days and weeks that lie ahead of us. Because somebody getting hurt because a bunch of people are running to see a bunch of guys that are just acting crazy and out of control, and they lost it. And you know what? I understand why those guys were frustrated. I understand why they turned on me and started screaming at me, because even though I'm trying to help them again, I get it. I've been doing this job a long, long time, and I don't take anything personally, because if I did, I'd be in the nut house. All right? We're here together. We're a big family. And sometimes families do things that we have to sit down and say, let's get back on the same page. And that's what the announcements today are about. Getting refocused. Reminding each other that we are better than what happened yesterday. We are much better. You know, we talk about all this career stuff. You wouldn't do this on a job. You wouldn't do this anywhere else. So that's it. Teachers, we're going to have plenty of time to talk about this and reflect beyond, because when you went back to class, you all have no idea how late we were here. Teachers, when you were home at 3 o'clock, relaxing with your families, doing what you do, we were still here at 7 o'clock last night, talking to people, getting things sorted out, reviewing video that came in so that we could get to the bottom of things. And since 7:30 this morning, we've been meeting with parents and families, getting this straightened out. And there will be more meetings and more paperwork and more conversations with the police about this, and more conversations to you about this. So I'm going to leave it there. Everybody, you have a lot to think about. Think about you and your responsibility in making us great. Now, we have an assembly today. I didn't cancel the assembly. We're going to have the assembly. Teachers, please follow the assembly schedule. Teachers in the second assembly, please do not release your students until you are told. Because here's what happens when we don't follow directions. We've got a whole bunch of students in the assembly. You let out everybody. They're trying to get in. We can't get anybody out. And there's a massive humanity. So we want everybody in the gym out and back to class before we release. So teachers, you will get an all call saying, let them go. You will then walk with your classes to the assembly. Now, students, I want you to understand, it's for you, it's to have fun. We want you to scream and yell and chant and do all that kind of stuff. Keep it clean. Keep it respectful. Don't do stupid stuff, because again, we don't think about that. Something happens in the stands, everybody starts scattering out of the bleachers, somebody trips and falls. Your stupidity for trying to do something stupid in the assembly can get other people hurt, and you don't even think about it. So let's enjoy the assembly. Got the football game tonight, you're wearing black or red, and you got your ID, you get in free. It's the homecoming game. It's huge, it's fun. Tomorrow night is the homecoming dance. Hopefully you're going, hopefully your attendance was good enough that you can get there. Now, we're extending the homecoming dance sales because we got a lot more people coming than we anticipated. So we're going to extend those sales. I mean, there's a lot of people going to the homecoming dance. And then junior shirts, you can get your junior shirts for sale at lunch. I'm not sure who's selling those, where the junior shirts be until anybody know? Montgomery's room or somewhere?
The library.
Library. In the library, get your junior shirts and you can wear them to the assembly today, all right? And then students, when you get there, sit with your classes in your area. Teachers, we need everybody there. People on the top rows, you know your deals, all right? So guys, reboot. You know, when your phone's not working, you got to turn it off and restart. That's what we're doing right now. We're turning it off. We're rebooting. We're going to have a great day at the best school in America, because all of us make this the best school. Don't just look at me for it. Don't just look at your teachers. This is your school, and it's going to run the way you want it to run. With that, have a great day, nights, and we'll talk to you later.